Color correction is very important. Do not skip color correction. Why? So let me tell you a story. Just like everyone else, I used to be an amateur, and when I was trying to learn about filmmaking, the most exciting part of that is color grading. I was always wonder how can I get the same cinematic look from the movie in my video. So this is what I used to do. I open Premiere Pro, jump right into the Lumetri color tab, get into basic color correction, bring the exposure up, bring the contrast up. Everyone likes some contrast, right? Bring the saturation up. Now I'm gonna do some magic trick, add some blue into my shadows, orange into my midtones, and maybe add some pink in the temperature to make it pink. I don't know why I used to do that. That's it. I done my masterpiece. I can't wait to show it to all the people. I was really excited, and then on the next day I was like, this is my masterpiece. I'm gonna show this to my friends. They're gonna be impressed. I'm gonna like the best colorist in the world. It turned out not like that. The thing is, you can't trust your eyes, because when you look in your computer for a long period of time, you might see color differently. That was the problem. So because I skipped color correction, I didn't get it right from the beginning. When I saw the video to my friends, they was like, "Hey Long, were you sick? Because you look a little bit green or blue." And I was like, what? It's a masterpiece. I put so many hours into color grading my video. How can you guys can't see that? Come here. Look at your own video. Just look at and you understand what I say. Okay, really? Just give me. Oh, man. I really look sick. You see? Yeah, and that's what happened. I must say that you cannot color grading without a correct color. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you my process of color correct my video, and I hope after this video you will know how to color correct your video properly and might figure out your own process of color correction. Now you know what next. Let's bring our epic intro.
Yeah man, yeah, sitting in the cab, stepping over rats, crime ridden to the max.
This video is huge and it contains a lot of information for you guys to learn. So how can you learn all of these informations? It would be great if you can take all of them in at the same time, but it's okay to stop the video at one step. Practice it, get used to it, be comfortable with it, make mistakes, learn from it, and then come back to this video and continue learning. That would be a great way for you to learn without being burned out or getting lost on the way. So I use 4 steps to color correct my video. The first one, add LUT into your video or just do it manually in basic color correction. Then I use the tone curve to make an S curve. The third one, I will try to correct white balance, and finally correct the skin tones. For each of these steps, I will use a different Lumetri scope to make sure that I get it right, because you cannot trust your eyes, and the only way to make sure that your image look the same in every different device is using Lumetri scope. So before we continue our video about color correction and stuff, I just want to make sure that you guys have a good video to work with, because if the video is bad at the beginning, there's nothing you can do in post to fix that. I just want to make sure that you guys have your video well exposed, not too bright or not too dark. Lighting is very important. Good lighting will make a lot of difference with your video, so make sure that your video have a very nice lighting, and also don't pump up the ISO too high or it will create a lot of noise in your video, and we cannot fix that noise in Lumetri color, so remember that. Okay, with all of that being said, let's continue our video. So if you are just starting to learn about filmmaking, you might skip the part of learning about Lumetri scope, but I must tell you that that Lumetri Scope is an amazing tool. It helps you a lot in make sure that you know the white balance is right, the color is right. It just helps you correct your color. So I'm gonna try to explain the Lumetri Scope first before I start this step. It's gonna save you a lot of time and help you get the right color. Okay, now we will start our first step. Okay, for this step, I will use the Lumetri Scope, the waveform Lumetri Scope over here. You can find it in the color tab. If you cannot find this Lumetri Scope, you can go to Window and looking for the Lumetri Scope right here. Now I will only use the waveform RGB. I will turn off the other scope and I also waveform Luma. Okay, now I will explain the waveform Luma scope. So 0 is absolute black, or you can say that it's a pure black, and 100 is pure white or absolute white. So from 0 to maybe 30 is shadows, from 30 to 70 is midtones, and from 70 to 100 is highlight. That's in my assumptions. So what is the application of this waveform? The way that I use the waveform is that I look at the waveform and I can understand about the highlight, shadow, black, white and contrast of the image. So because I use S-Log2 picture profiles, it squeezes data and value into the middle of the scope, as you can see. So there are not much contrast in the image. If I increase the contrast, you can see that our value has been spread out and the image has more contrast. If I increase the white and decrease the black, you can also see that it has some contrast into the image. You guys should know that you shouldn't let too much value of the image reach the number. It's gonna lose a lot of information. For example, if I put black on the way down, you can see that a lot of values touch 0. This means your image is losing a lot of information in the black. Or I can bring the white on the way up, increase exposure. You can see that if many value reach 100, the image gonna blow out and lose a lot of information. So I don't want that. What I want is keep all of the information in between 0 and 100. Okay, now let's begin color correct our S-Log2 footage manually. Let's fit the black and the white, pull it down, just touching 0 and pull the white up, like just touching 100 right there. Perfect. I'm gonna pull the shadow down to create contrast. Just trying to spread out all of the value to create as much as contrast as you can. Right there, bring the highlight up, but don't blow out your face. There, and increase some contrast. Nice. Really nice, right? Just by spread out all of the value, you can see it adds a lot of contrast into our image and also some color. When you increase the contrast value, it will also add some saturation into your video. My face is unsaturated. It looks like I'm dead. It looks unnatural. So let's add some saturation into image. Just a little bit to bring my life back. Right there. Right there. Or decrease a bit. Yeah. If too much, my face gonna look yellow and I don't like that. Okay, that's it. We have done our first step and I'm really happy with this basic color correction. Really nice. There is a really faster way to do this so that you can save your time. Okay, right here, if you go into the Lumetri color tab, look at in the basic correction, you will see the line input LUT right here. And you can see there is a default S-Log2 video. I will choose this one. Okay, this one look pretty good. Nice. Just with one click, you can skip all of the steps that I did before and the computer just do everything for you. So that is one way that you can save a lot of time. However, when I apply this LUT, there are something that I am not happy with the LUT. I will fit it in the basic correction. The shadows is too dark, so I will bring some shadow up, bring back some information into my face, pull the black down a bit, just touching the 0. Also bring some saturation up right there. Okay, cool. Congratulations, you have finished the first step. Now we will begin our second step, which is using the RGB curve to add even more contrast into the video. So if you don't really want to add more contrast into the video, I recommend you that you still have to learn how to use RGB curve. It is so much more flexible than using basic correction. If you know how to use the RGB curve, you don't even need to use the basic correction. So now I'm gonna explain the RGB curve tool. Let's go to the RGB color. You can find the curve over here. Okay, so look at this graph. This is pretty similar to the Lumetri scope. So the bottom of this graph is black, the top is white. Right here it's shadows, highlights and midtones. So let me show you how it works. For example, on the bottom of the graph is black. So if I pull the black out to the right, you can see it pull all of the value down to 0 right there. And if I pull it up, it's gonna bring all the value near white. This is the same for the top right of this graph. You can increase even more white into the image. It's like increase your exposures in the basic correction, or you can pull it down to decrease the white. This is highlight. If I bring it up, you can see all the highlight value go up, and the same for the shadows. Midtone in my face, so look at my face, it pulled my face up. Okay, now this is how I use the RGB curve. Usually I like to add little bit more contrast into my video, so I will create an S curve on this RGB curve. Your video will look more natural if you create an S curve in RGB curve. Right now I will show you how to create that S curve. So usually I will create a point in the intersection of the lines right here and another point. So this gonna be our highlight, this gonna be our shadows. I will want to create some contrast by creating a small S curve. When you do this, you still have to pay attention to the Lumetri scope and make sure that all of your value is in the middle. Don't bring it too high, it's gonna touch the roof. Usually I will make an S curve, but for this example, my face is already blown out. So I don't want to increase more highlight into the image. I'm gonna pull it down to make it less blow out and bring the shadow up so that you can see my face better. That look really nice. Can you see that? Really much better. I will explain the red curve, green curve and blue curve. It is the same, but right now you're gonna affect only one color channel in your video. For example, if I click into the red curve, I will only affect the red in your image. So if I want to add some red into the highlight, I will create a point here, increase red into my highlight, and I don't want to increase red in the midtone or the shadow, so I will click here right in the midtones and bring it down because I don't want to increase red in the midtone and shadow right there. As you can see, if you know how to use this tool, it's gonna also help you to color grade and create contrast in your image. But I will cover this one in the next video about color grading. Right now we only care about color correction. So right here is my S curve. Okay, now we have done our second step. Woo! If you guys are still here, I really appreciate your super attention to my video, and you have to give an applause to yourself because we have go half the way to finish our correction. Okay, let's move to our next step, which is correct the white balance. To color correct our white balance, I will use a different Lumetri scope. This one is Parallel RGB. For this Parallel RGB, you can see that it is similar to the waveform Luma. However, for this scope, they split 3 channels into 3 different graphs. So we have red channel, green and blue channel. everything stay the same. I'm not gonna explain again. Now how can we use this graph to correct our white balance? First you have to find the place that you believe is a poor white on your image. For my video, I believe that this place is not poor white but it should be white. I'm gonna show you the easiest way to correct your white balance with a choose white balance selector right here, the eyes drop tool, and you can click on the place that you think is a white. Yeah, right there, and the computer gonna do it, mark it and give you the result. Yeah, really nice. Or I'm gonna show you another different way correct the white balance in case that your computer didn't do its job very good. So you can do it manually by select or mask out the place that you think is a white. You can see in the opacity right here, the pen tool, click on the video, you can draw a mask in this place. Right there. So now we're gonna look at the periscope. As you can see, these are the three colors of this mask, and if you believe that this mask should be white, then those three colors have to be on the same line. Right now it is not on the same line. As you can see, green is higher than blue and red, and the red is the lowest. So you can tell that there are more green in our video. So let's fit that. Let's bring those three colors on the same line to create the correct white balance. So how can you do that? You can go into the white balance tab and look down to the temperature and thing. Then you can increase something to decrease your green. Bring it on the line. And also add a little bit red into your image. Okay, that's too much. Bring back this one. Right there. Now you can see all of these colors are on the same line. Now let's take a look at our video. Let's see what have we done. Let's turn off our mask. Poof. Okay, right there. Can you see the difference? Our face doesn't look green anymore. It's more natural now. Nice. Okay, that's how you correct the white balance. Let's move to our final step. For this final step, I'm gonna try to correct our skin tones. Skin tones is the most important aspect of color correction. If your skin tones doesn't look right, it's gonna feel very unnatural. The whole video gonna feel like something is off. You have to make sure that you correct your skin tones. So how can we do that? First, for this step, we're gonna use the vector scope YUV. What is the vector scope tell you? I'm gonna explain it right now. This vector scope is similar to a color wheel. So as you can see, there are red, magenta, blue, cyan, green and yellow on this vector scope. So this scope gonna tell you the color of your image and the saturation of its color. For example, right now if I increase the saturation, you can see that our value spread outward. And if I decrease the saturation, it will go inward. If I go all the way, now there's no value on this vector scope and our image become black and white. That's how this vector scope works. So here's the tip for you. You have to make sure that your saturation values is inside of this polygon, because if the value go outside of this polygon, that means your image is oversaturated and it's gonna be very unprofessional. So just keep your saturation value under this polygon and everything will be fine. Okay, now how can you tell that you have a correct skin tones? When you look at this vector scope, you can see they divided it with two lines. In the section in the center of the scope, there is only one line that you have to pay attention, which is the line between red and yellow. This line is very important because that is the line of a human skin. You can use this scope to make sure that your skin tone line up with this line, and then you're gonna have the right skin tones. However, you may push it toward red to create the feeling of blood flow under your skin, which makes it more natural, but don't push it too far. Now I will show you how can we do that. It's very similar to correct the white balance. You have to mask your skin tone out so that you can focus only on your skin tones. Create a new mask on my face. Make sure that it only cover part of my face and apply the mask. As you can see, my skin tones is nearly perfect because it's line up to this line. What if your skin tones doesn't line up with this line and it's like in somewhere else? How can you correct it? There are two ways you can correct your skin. The first one is really easy and fast, so if you just want to get things done as fast as possible, you can use this first way, which is using the color wheels and match. As you can see in this tab, there are 3 different color wheels: shadows, midtones and highlights. How can you adjust your skin tones? Your skin tones will lie into the midtones. If you want to change the color of your skin, you might change color in the midtones color wheel. So let me show you right now. I think my skin tone is a little bit too red. I'm gonna introduce some yellow into our midtones so that I can bring our skin tone more to the yellow part. Right there. That's it. I don't want to do it too much because there's one bad thing about changing the midtones color wheels, which is there are also many different colors in the midtones area, so it might affect all of those colors. I will show it to you right now. Turn off the mask and you can see that now our skin tones look pretty nice. However, we have added some green into the background, and as you can see, the white balance is not good anymore. However, there is one way you can fix this problem, which is using the highlight and shadows color wheel. Let's go back to our palette RGB. Now we can try to fit our white balance again, and I will use the shadows to correct this white balance because most of our white colors is in the background, which is in the shadows right now. So let's turn on the mask. Right now you can see that the green is the highest colors in this scope, which I have told you before. We have introduced some greens into our shadows. So to correct that, we have to bring that green down and bring the red up, red and blue up. So the better way is a pink into the image. Now let's see again. I think they are all lined up really nice. Let's turn off our mask and see what happened. Okay, can you see that? I have fixed the white balance in the background, so now everything is really good. So that is the first way that you can correct your skin tones and also fit the white balance after you correct your skin tones. There is another way. You can use the HSL secondaries to mask out your skin. Now let's bring the vector scope again and bring our mask into my skin. Okay, now we can use the HL secondary color to select our skin color. Just add them. Also I want my lips in there because I don't want to change color, only my face and my lips still the same. Now let's turn on our mask to see what we have selected. Okay, now that is not really nice, but we can fix it by changing the value of this one. Okay, that's good. Okay, I have done my selections. Although you can see that we have select some of the works in the background and this stand right here, It is because these have the same colors of my face. However, you can leave that. It is not a big deal. As long as it not affect the white in your image, that's okay. Now I will increase these noise values. These noise to make sure that there won't be any noise in this mask, and also blur it out. It would be harder for people to tell that I did fix this one. Okay, now we can turn on our mask to see only the color of my skin, and then we can fix it as the same as I did before. So to bring this a bit on this line, produce some green, maybe. Yeah. Okay, let's look what we have done. Ooh, really good, right? The white in the background is still the same. I can now adjust only my face. As you can see, I can make my face look more white, or just increase the blackness, make me darker. Cool things about this is only affect your skin color, so you might bring some warm to make you look warmer, pink. But right now I would not do that. Or if you like, you can make me become the Hulk. I think my skin look a little bit green because as I said that it's already perfect. I just adjust it so that you guys can see the difference, but I will bring it back again. Okay, let's look better. Nice, I like that. And we have done our skin tones, and this is the result. Congratulations, you guys have learned everything I know about color correction. And again, color correction is very important. Make sure you get it right before you color grading. See you next time in my next video. I'm gonna make a video about color grading. So, okay, goodbye. Peace.